Neither rain nor sleet nor dark of night could keep these Husky fans from their appointed rounds. They've been here all day long, just hoping for a ticket to tonight's Washington LSU game. Big Baby's coming to town, and he's looking for a little love from the good folks in Seattle. But the Dogs think they got it covered. We come to you tonight from the campus of the University of Washington here in Seattle. It may be cold and rainy outside, but the Dog Pack is ready for a little something inside, and they should get an outstanding early season game as the 12th ranked LSU Tigers come calling on the number 17 Washington Huskies. And hello again, everybody. I'm Barry Tompkins. You know my partner, Dan Belwamini. And Dan, LSU brings with it one of the premier players in the country, Glenn Davis. They call him Big Baby, but you know what I really like about this guy? Great soft hands, great feet. He's more than just a big guy.
Well, he really is. I mean, he's a guy that can not only play close to the goal. Look at this footage right here. He can dribble the ball length of the floor, very active. He can pull up and shoot it. And, of course, a powerhouse, Barry, around the goal. So, again, he's the whole package. He's a first-team All-American. He's a guy that's averaging a double-double, and I'm sure he'll come up big. How about the freshman Spencer Hawes for the University of Washington? Spencer, last 3 games at about 19 a game, so it should be an outstanding performance by him. I think it's going to be exciting, some big play down low.
Yeah, 2 guys who are getting better every time out, and 2 teams that seem to be getting better every time out as well. LSU, of course, they got all the way to the big dance. This year, of course, they want to dance the last dance, something they were unable to do last March. But the Dog Pack and 10,000 people hope to see that they don't get there. We welcome you back to Bank of America Arena here in Seattle. We're just about set to go between the Huskies of Washington and the Tigers of LSU. Let's take a look at the opening lineups. First of all, for the visitors from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, it'll be Tack Minor with Garrett Temple in the backcourt. Up front, Tasman Mitchell, Magnum Roll, and of course, Big Baby, Glenn Davis, and he is the real deal. John Brady, 173 wins and 113 losses in this, his 10th year as the head coach at LSU. Came over from Sanford, very successful. Of course, took his team to the Final Four and preseason picked number 5 in the country. And who's to argue? It's a very good team. Washington with the freshmen, Adrian Oliver, Justin Denton, a sophomore, Spencer Hawes, a freshman, Quincy Pondexter, a freshman, and John Brockman, a sophomore. So this is a very young team that Lorenzo Romar is putting on the floor here. Lo Romar, 92 and 43. Clearly, Dan, has turned this program here in Seattle.
No, I don't think there's any question. And of course, Lorenzo Romar, he's done a great job here in Seattle, and a team that's coming off another super year. Last year, went all the way to the Sweet 16, lost a big game to UConn, and had a great chance to win that game, just didn't do it. And this Husky team, Barry, a work in progress. Imagine 3 freshmen, 2 sophomores, but dangerous.
Yeah, very dangerous team, and of course, particularly tough at home here. This place has become a very difficult place for a visiting team. Just about set for the opening tip-off here at Bank of America Arena. Barry Tompkins, Dan Belwamini alongside. We're in Seattle, Washington. Number 12 and number 17, a great early season matchup. One of those matchups that coaches have a love-hate feeling about. I mean, they want to be tested. They want to have a tough game on the road just to see how their team comes out of it. But by the same token, they certainly don't want a loss.
Well, they don't want a loss, but I think this modern day of college basketball, going on the road, if you're LSU, they win at Oregon State. It's a team that's played well on the road. They've won 6 in a row. They come here to Washington. This is a huge, huge game for them if they can win. It's an unbelievable resume game late in the year. And for Washington, 3 freshmen, a couple of sophomores, and big game for the Huskies also.
No question. Only loss for Washington was across the state at Gonzaga. And, of course, the Zags have the longest home winning streak in college basketball. Very tough place to play. Huskies control the opening tip. 3 freshmen, 2 sophomores. They try to get it inside the Hawes. It's knocked away by Roll. perimeter shooting, if there has been any kind of an Achilles for the LSU Tigers, that would be it. If they can get it going from the outside, it takes all the pressure off of Big Baby, and you see how nimble he is. What the Huskies want to do in this game is deny him the ball. Here's Brockman off the pass and a little hard. Roll with a rebound.
Might have numbers, opportunity.
Mitchell for two.
Big key, as you said. John Brady mentioned, if we can shoot it from the outside, make a few, we're a different team. We're a team that's very dangerous.
There's Spencer Hawes, about whom you spoke, and talk about a guy getting better every game. This is Spencer Hawes considered the best recruit ever to come to the University of Washington.
That's kind of putting a couple guys in that.
Yeah, they've had some good players up there.
Had some pretty good players here. Maybe his uncle was one of them.
That's right.
I mean, you talk about Steve Hawes, what an outstanding player he was in the early 70s here. And of course, Spencer's dad, Jeff, also a terrific player.
Brockman, who's a tough guy, gets the defensive assignment on Davis. Look at Davis, put it on the floor. Then he had to pull up, did well just to keep his balance. Leave it this time for Minor, and he banks it in high off the window. And again, Huskies beating the Tigers back, and I'm sure John Brady doesn't want any part of that. Danny, let's talk about the keys to the game.
All right, our Pontiac keys to the game for LSU, no question, points in the paint, and they've got to rebound the ball. 1 and out, they cannot allow second chance points. And for Washington, let's limit the turnovers to 15 or less. And if they can get some second efforts around the goal, multiple shots, it'll really help them in their effort to win this game.
Spencer Hawes converts the first free throw, just about a 70% free throw shooter. Hawes' second try is also good.
Little 92-foot man-to-man press, see if they can bother LSU.
Tied at 4 early in this game. This is Roll outside, now to Minor. And we're going to get a grab foul away from the ball. I think they got Pondexter on that.
Well, you know, there's a lot of attention to everybody down low. So you look at when Washington was practicing, every time Davis is going to touch the ball, and they're going to have a couple of guys around him. Now zone, might be zone out of bounds. Let's see if they go back man to man. Showed zone, went back man to man.
They bring Davis out to meet the ball. He draws a crowd. Now Mitchell can't get that one. And the rebound, nice job by Minor to get a hand on it and give him another chance. Here's Minor again, driving baseline over Hawes. Kick out for Mitchell. Mitchell steps in. The floater, no. And it'll be Huskies ball.
Now, Barry, let's face it. These are two teams, a bit of a work in progress. We know LSU coming off the great Final Four appearance, lost to UCLA in that semifinal game. Glenn Davis kind of rededicated himself after that, lost a lot of weight. Was really tired in that game. Felt he didn't play his best. And Washington, a very young team, but Brockman, a guy, I think a key guy. I mean, he is somebody that can do a lot of damage inside. A great move to the goal.
Unbelievable move that time. Just left his defender and a little reverse and one.
Well, you look at John Brockman. I mean, he's a terrific low post player and a guy that takes up a lot of space. And, you know, no question, a real team guy. And he's given the Huskies a big lift. He's beaten LSU down the floor, missed a layup the first time down, and now gets a three-point play.
Davis again way outside to meet the ball. Now Roll. Give it up for Temple. Temple, second generation. His brother also played at LSU, so did his dad. Davis runs this one down again. He draws a crowd. And every time he gets a touch, he draws a crowd.
Yeah, he had 4 around him that time.
Turn around and a reach-in foul on Temple.
Well, Davis is going to have a hard time putting the ball on the ground. I think once Davis receives the ball, if he thinks he's going to maneuver with it, Washington's throwing all kinds of people at him. Now look at how many white shirts are around that big purple 0 there when he's got the ball. I mean, there's the whole team around him. And finally, the Huskies get the turnover.
It's exactly what Lorenzo Romar told us today that would be his defensive strategy. And they're a floater all the way to the basket that time, and Brockman with a second chance, and he muscles it up and in.
I think Brockman, would you categorize him as kind of a glass eater?
Oh,
I mean, he's just a guy that's all over the glass and gives you efforts at the offensive end.
Well, remember Lorenzo last year telling us how hard he practiced, and it's all paying off here. Minor fall away won't go, and there's Haas to the boards. Detman looked down the court. Pondexter had his man beat, but Detman thought better of it. Now Pondexter up on the elbow. Pondexter turn around the lane. It won't go. There's Brockman again.
Well, Roll's got to do a better job of getting the body on Brock. Brockman has just kind of taken over the game. Boy, how do you like it? John Brockman rebounding, second efforts, doing a nice job at the defensive end. He has been the guy for the Huskies. Yeah, look, here's Brockman right here, and he is definitely he's gonna look at this. You've got the over the top, and he wants it, couldn't get it there, but where's the block out? Let's screen him out. There's no block out there, and he does a nice job. That was kind of a soft block out. You know, there wasn't no back out body, and Brockman just easily got the ball and put it back in.
Washington on a 9-0 run. Brockman and Hawes have all 11 of the Huskies' points, not to mention 4 rebounds. And of course, what LSU has not been able to do here is take the crowd out of this game, and that's something they felt they really had to do. We talked to John Brady before the game, and he said, you know, we got to keep the crowd out of it, get on them early. They haven't been able to do that.
Well, I think the other thing they have to do, too, is make real good decisions at the offensive end. And they've taken some quick shots. And I think this is a good opportunity to get Davis. Brockman's doing a great job on Davis, but they have to find him down low and see if he can maneuver. Look at Brockman, 40. Look at him. He's fronting them. Those are 2 big bodies in there.
Yeah.
2 big guys.
All the way to the basket, Minor. Well played.
Great timeout. Good job just to slow everything down and get something solid in the half court.
Artem Wallace is in the ball game now. This is him with the ball right now. A little jump hook. It won't go. Short follow is up and good by Brockman again. And so far, the Tigers do not have an answer for John Brockman. Ryan Appleby in the game now for the Huskies as well. And Darnell Lazar on for the first time for the Tigers. Here's Davis, draws a front and back crowd again. Now he tries to back Brockman down. Kick out Temple into the corner. It goes from Mitchell. Drive baseline, and the floater won't go. And Brockman with another rebound. Detman, Appleby on the wing. Look out.
Look out. He could shoot it. That one didn't go, but he's definitely got the green light.
And a streak shooter, too. When he gets it going, he's real trouble. Great job by Detman. Got a man in the air. And really, Temple had no choice but to come down on his back. And now we got some blood on the face of Brockman. And that's the kind of player he is. We're going to get a timeout. They will tend to the cut on Brockman. He'll take a standing 8 count. He'll be back. And so will we. And we welcome you back. The Huskies on a real run. Lead LSU 13-6. 15-11 remaining here in the first half. Substitutions. Another freshman, Phil Nelson, good shooter, is on for the Washington Huskies. And we mentioned earlier Artem Wallace also in the ball game now. And Brockman and Davis just kind of chuckling with each other. 2 great competitors. And no small amount of meat between those 2.
Davis might have said, lighten up a little bit.
Yeah, really. A little token pressure by the Huskies now, but Minor will bring it across the timeline with Appleby shadowing him. Now Mitchell up top.
Well, you might have Davis now if you can reverse the ball.
Didn't get it done. Minor draws a crowd, banged it off the bottom of the backboard. Detman gets it out of there for the Huskies. Detman will wait for help, 1 on 3. Now Nelson. Drop it down for Wallace. Wallace trying to back down Lazar. Detman gets into the paint, left-handed, couldn't get it. And Davis fights for the rebound, took it away from Detman.
Well, you can see the Tigers content to slow it down. You know, their game in Corvallis a couple days ago, it's in the 50s. I mean, they're going to take the opportunity break if it's there. If it's not, very content to run their half-court offense. They execute exceedingly well.
There's a little skip pass this time for Mitchell. Mitchell dropped it down for Davis, and a grab foul on Brockman from behind.
Well, you could see John Brockman in Glenn Davis on what a matchup. Look at this is how you might be able to get him frustrated a little bit. I mean, there's the front by Brockman. He's never going to leave Davis. Try to keep the ball away from him. His goal is make sure Davis does not touch it. That's what he's thinking defensively.
Hawes has come back into the Washington lineup, and Brockman will get a blow. And look at that face. I mean, I've seen those on the Fox Boxing.
All right, now you may have more of a favorable matchup for Davis if he can post up and get down low.
Damian Mason has come into the Tigers lineup now. Here's Davis again, and
Great
Davis
pass.
leaves it for Lazar nicely. But a foul before that on the pass. I think they'll get Dentman reaching in.
Well, the more you see Glenn Davis, you realize, Barry, he really is the whole package. You know, after losing 35, 40 pounds, I mean, he's much more active. Look at this look here. Of course, the foul first, but really has that great peripheral vision to find the open player.
Well, I really like his feet, too, and he does have that ability when they drop down and double him. He does give the ball up. He's an unselfish player. And quite honestly, a terrific kid.
Well, the other thing that should be mentioned, I mean, the LSU guys, I mean, obviously very talented team, but academically, you know, they're very solid. So all their guys, there's a nice pass inside.
And talk about drawing a crowd. There were 4 Huskies there. One of them reached in and got him. I think it might be Wallace. We'll see.
Yeah, that was Garrett Temple. Now, once Temple gives a beautiful look inside, and, you know, we haven't called Garrett Temple a lot, but he's really the guy that makes this LSU team work. He's a terrific defender, got the nice vision, and that time unselfishly found Davis, who, by the way, only had 4 guys on him that time, but strong enough to get it up and pick up the foul.
They called Oliver on that foul, incidentally.
It's a pretty good line. Now, remember, I think they only scored 56.
That's right.
So, you know, he only had 22 of them.
And a nice touch at the free throw line, too. So that stops the bleeding a little bit. It's a 15-8 ball game.
This is going to be a home-and-home series, too.
That's right. Huskies will go down to Baton Rouge next year.
Yeah, they return this game.
Turnaround, Hawes. Banks it in.
How do you like it? Barry was saying, well, maybe that's a little bit of a bad. No, it isn't. I mean, he made that one look easy.
Well, he's got that kind of range, and he's no secret up here in the Northwest. In fact, he's no secret to any college basketball coach. And the rest of the country will soon find out about Spencer Hawes. Open his temple. Too hard off the back iron, and there for the rebound is Hawes again. Quick outlet to the freshman Oliver. Now Nelson up top. Nelson for 3.
Yeah, Nelson can shoot it. Now we know Nelson coming off the screens. He has been very, very productive. You talk about all the great freshmen, and kind of Nelson's name goes unnoticed, but he is a monster shooter when he gets the open look.
Good size guy too at 6'7". Here's Mitchell, good penetration. Appleby coming back the other way, burns it. Try to drop it down for Hawes. Davis overplayed him and draw the foul. Second foul on Davis, and we'll see if that didn't become a factor now. John Brady may want to sit him for a little bit. A lot of time to go here, 12-11.
Oh, you saw the way that Hawes post. You know the thing you love about him, too? He can post up, and he keeps the ball high, doesn't bring it down, and had Glass all the way on that turnaround.
Now, do they try to get the ball to Hawes here with Davis still in the game and 2 fouls?
Sure.
Ouch. That time Temple coming down hard on the top of Appleby. It was accidental. 3rd foul on Temple early in this game.
Yeah, and this is a good move to bring the ball by Appleby, and I think Appleby's got that mindset. Look, the guy that's defending me is a little bit of foul trouble. He's got the 2, see if I can get that 3rd foul.
He stays out there, so.
Well, now you really have to look to Appleby if they can find him. See if they can reverse the ball to Appleby. The guy guarding him does have 3 fouls.
There's Oliver coming off a curl pull-up.
Unless Oliver is wide open.
And the Huskies just firing on all cylinders. They lead by 12. Temple outside. Now for Davis, straightens up. Couldn't get it to go. And Mitchell with a rebound and put back on it.
Great job by Mitchell. Really the guy that is the unsung hero of this team. I mean, he has been really active. He's come a long way and an effective player. Well, that was quick.
I'll tell you, Nelson, we were watching him today.
He didn't miss many.
No, he didn't. You can just tell he's just a natural shooter. That was a three, his second three. And that one was contested. There's Davis outside. Davis with a smaller Oliver on him now. Temple got into lane, comes up short. Hawes clears.
Got to get to this guy right here. He's going to let it go on you. That was a bit quick.
A bit quick
and he's got Temple on him, Barry. You know, the guy defending him does have 3 fouls. Put the ball on the ground. Go to the goal on him.
We'll jump off the track. 10:45 remaining first half. Huskies by 13. Well, the Huskies rolling early in this ballgame. They lead it by 13 with 10:45 remaining to be played here in the first half. Let's take a moment to recognize our U.S. Bank Pac-10 Player of the Week. He's Bryce Taylor. And we were talking earlier about what an improvement John Brockman has made from his freshman season. Bryce Taylor now in his junior season, maybe the most improved player in the league early on.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. Bryce has really played well for the Ducks, who, by the way, Barry, undefeated and playing good basketball. So congratulations to Bryce Taylor, our U.S. Bank Player of the Week.
All right, now the Huskies holding LSU to just 39% from the field. And when they do that, the Huskies have won. And they're playing well on both ends of the floor right now. And into the ball game for the first time, or rather just for the second time, Damian Mason back into the game. And the Huskies with a chance to really get their foot on the throats of the Tigers here. They lead it by 13 with the ball. There's Nelson. Nelson drop it down this time. And a turnaround by Hawes.
Oh, he is automatic in there.
He's starting to show you the whole package.
He's got a myriad of moves around the goal. And look at him. You can see in his eyes that he really loves the challenge. He's got 8 points and 4 rebounds and making it look easy. And don't forget, Davis does have the 2 fouls.
Brockman back in the game for the Huskies as well. This is Damian Mason. He gets in amongst the trees, floats it up, offensive foul. Nice job by Appleby to draw that foul also. John Brady, not a happy guy right at the moment.
Well, you look at Spencer Hawes. He does a nice job to flash in the middle. And, you know, of course, if you're Davis, you don't want to pick up an easy foul. And how do you defend the fadeaway unless you drop down and bring someone else from the outside to cover and double him up? He's going to shoot that one all night long.
And I got to think they're going to go back and try to draw that third foul on Davis. Here's Hawes outside with Davis on him. Now Oliver. Brockman over the top. Easy, but he missed a shot. Missed a follow-up. Gets it back. Missed another one. Still a fight for the ball, and finally coming away with it is Lazar.
I think the Tigers are going to have to try to speed it up a little bit. I mean, it's 27-12. And if you got opportunities in the open court, now's the time you have to look to take them.
There's Minor stepping in, leaves for Davis. That time he had a step. Kisses it off the glass nicely.
Good job playing without the ball. Nice job to find him.
First field goal of the game for Davis. He's got 4 points.
Here's your matchup
right
down there. Now see if he can go right when he fades away. Well, he's got that shot down. You know, there he fades away, but so what?
He just has a really sweet stroke for a big guy. And of course, the crowd just loving it. And the Tigers just unable to get the crowd out of it. There's Minor, now Mason. And Mason, they're going to get a push under the basket on Lazar. Watch Hawes.
Well, is he comfortable when he's got the orange inside and he's got all the moves? I mean, you think he's going to go one way and you're not dropping on him, so he's this little one-on-one isolation. And Hawes just does a nice job with the jump hook. He's got the fadeaway. He can go left. He's about 6'11". He can step out and shoot the 12. Can he bring it up the floor? You bet he can.
Yeah, I mean, he is the whole package. We're looking at a lot of talent in this game, I'll tell you.
Well, and a lot of young talent. And Washington, no question, has taken the challenge. A big game for the Huskies. Their only loss on the road to Gonzaga, where the Zags got them pretty good by about 20. But at home, they're cooking here, and this is a tough place for an opposing team to come in and win.
Well, it is, and of course the Huskies jumped on LSU early on, and LSU's just not been able to shake them. They've not been able to get any kind of a run. Haws, of course, one of the big reasons, he and Brockman.
Well, Brockman and Hawes have really been the story. So you look at Spencer, and he just wants the ball and does a nice job to maneuver. You know, the guy has had to have some great coaching in his early years. I mean, he's been around basketball with his uncle and his dad, who are big-time players. He just knows how to play. And when he gets the ball, he knows what to do with it. Look at the numbers at 10 and 4. And we've only played about 12 and a half minutes.
So once again, Huskies with the ball and with a 15-point lead. There's Haws outside this time. Roll guarding him now as Davis is out of the game for the moment.
Well, they're trying to front, you go over the top.
Well, that's what they did. Haws tried to wedge it up, couldn't quite do it. Ball's loose, and Haws a great job. Bruce Hicks goes down hard. The referee, Haws helps him up. And it's going to be Washington ball, I believe. Well, Bruce shook that off pretty good, huh?
Yes, he did.
Inbounds past to Brockman.
Now right back inside. Now you're going to double it. Now you send a couple of players after him. Obviously, it's a little more difficult.
Well defended that time, though, by the Tigers. Did a nice job on that. Incidentally, in the ballgame for the first time this year now for LSU is Terry Martin. Martin came over from Texas Tech. He only became eligible before this game. And John Brady said, I'm going to throw him out there early and we'll see how he goes. I don't know. Well, there's his first shot, and he knocks it down. And maybe that'll give a real lift to LSU, and that's Oliver for three. I mean, everything the Huskies are throwing up there is going down. And that time, just losing the handle was Minor. Now Detman.
Give it up. He didn't take it in himself. Well, took it, of course, who's there?
There's the trailer.
Well, you wonder sometimes, why do teams pressure 92 feet, give a little token? That's exactly why. Maybe the guy will kick it off his leg, he'll make a mistake, and all of a sudden it's a 4-point swing and an easy score.
This time backdoor Lazar, but again he draws a crowd. Now he'll kick it out this time for Minor, and Minor knocks it in for three. I beg your pardon, Mitchell.
Well, you know, with Davis off the floor, it has to be Mitchell, although Martin does hit his first shot.
And that's really significant. I mean, this guy is expected to really contribute. How about Haws?
Well, he's got the little spinner move on the baseline and the beautiful, soft, feathery touch when it hits. Is he having a game?
Yeah, I'll say he is. Mitchell starts along the baseline, and Haws cut him off. Mitchell again, pull up. And 3 seconds. So again, the Huskies continue to roll with 6:34 remaining in the first half. It's Washington 36, LSU 20. We're coming back to the Bank of America Arena in Seattle after this. Well, the Washington Huskies right now just beaten up on the 12th ranked LSU Tigers. Dogs lead it by 16 with 6:34 remaining here in the first half. Here's the Dillard's AP Top 10. UCLA undefeated at the top of the heap right now. North Carolina, of course, only the one loss, that to Gonzaga. Ohio State, I'm not too sure, but they may not be the best team in the country. I really like them a lot. How about Wisconsin, 11-1? They got the same record as a football team.
Yeah, they're playing very well. And look at Florida. Florida at 10-2, and of course, you know, the rest of the Dillard's AP Top 10. And you know, Arizona, you know, I'm not too sure they shouldn't even be a little bit higher than that. Arizona playing great basketball early.
And they won tonight, of course. And here's the family Haws. That's Steve Haws, Uncle Steve Haws on the left. And alongside him is Dad Jeff. That's Jeff on the right, Steve on the left. Steve, of course, both played here at the University of Washington. Steve spent 10 years in the NBA. So I guess you could say he was kind of born to the manor, huh?
Yeah, I think he was, and they got to be proud of the way Spencer's going tonight. I mean, he has really had some kind of – he and John Brockman have just dominated this game.
And that family really, really a class act. We had a chance, of course, last year at the Pac-10 Conference Tournament to speak at length with Steve Hawes, very humble guy, and in fact, so is Spencer. So Detman, point guard for the Huskies. Here's Brockman. Brockman again runs into traffic, score the basket, and one.
Boy, great job to run that screen and roll, and Oliver does a beautiful job to deliver the ball. I mean, that's just well. Here's the screen, bring it out. Now let's stop it here, and look at this guy just slide down, and then we're gonna just deliver the ball. I mean, that's just a beautiful job of screening, rolling, and finding the right player. And the Brockman, he is a big target when he goes down low.
Yeah, he's broad. Davis is back in the ball game. Davis, remember, playing with 2 fouls. Oliver will leave. Appleby will come back for the Huskies. So it is Davis, Roll, Mitchell, Minor, and Martin for LSU. Detman, Appleby, Pondexter, Brockman, and Hawes for the Washington Huskies. There's Martin. Had a good look. Knocks it down. Yep. Not bad. He's 100% for the season.
Yeah, John Brady said, I'm not sure if Martin's going to maybe shoot the first one over the backboard. Well, guess what? He has it.
There's Hawes, got the rebound.
Nice steal.
Picked clean by Minor.
Give it up right here.
He did. The trailer, Martin. 3 for 3 for Martin.
Has been unbelievable. And a nice pass in the open court, and a great job by Tack Minor to get him the ball.
Martin is going to help this team. There's no question about it. I mean, this is going to be a very, you can't look at tonight's game, and I'm not even trying to tell you that it's going to wind up this way, but you can't say what a team is going to be like. Pondexter misses, Hawes gets it back. Can't say what a team is going to be like coming into the season. I think LSU is going to be very, very good. Hawes again.
Well, Florida proved that last year.
Exactly.
I mean, you think, where was Florida last year? We're in the preseason top 25. All of a sudden, played better. And how about UCLA? You talk about
right.
No one ever thought UCLA would make it to the final game.
Well, of course, George Mason not amongst the elite.
No, they were not.
They get it to Davis, and there's the trap.
And that's what you want if you're Washington. You want the ball out of Davis's hands. And now the shot clock, so you've got to do something good. A little screen and roll, top of the key. You make
offensive foul. Pushed off with the offhand. Every time you do that, you're going to get whistled.
Detman's come a long way, too. I mean, he's a guy. He came out of nowhere last year to really lead this team at the point. Don't forget, they lost Bobby Jones. They lost Brandon Roy, the player of the year in the Pac-10, and Mike Jensen. How about Jamal Williams? So, the Huskies, had some huge holes to fill, and I'd say they've done a pretty good job of filling most of them.
I would say so. Here's Ryan Appleby. Appleby leaves it for Detman now. Detman's got an opportunity, but he traveled first. Hans Gasser in the ball game now for Lorenzo Romar's Huskies. This is another guy who can shoot the basketball. And into the ball game for the first time for LSU is Ben Voog. There's Mitchell. Mitchell looks low, and Brockman again denying the pass. Martin for 3. That one won't go. His first miss of the year, and Davis is mugged from behind by Brockman.
The other thing that Washington's done really a brilliant job in this game, they haven't turned the ball over. They have really taken care of the basketball. 2-3 turnovers in the first half, so just an outstanding job by Lorenzo Romar's Huskies to take care of the ball and get quality shots.
And they gave that foul to Detman. Mitchell won't go. Appleby tried to control the rebound, couldn't do it. Tigers will get it back.
Huskies still have a foul to take. Only 5 team fouls by Washington in the first half. And I think you can't get totally out of your game plan if you're LSU. You've got to make a concerted effort to try to find Davis, although Brockman's doing a beautiful job on him. Look at Brockman fronting him, not allowing him to touch the ball. And the Huskies going through screens, and Davis finally just has to go one-on-one. Could have been a foul there, didn't call.
Great first step, though, by Davis, and Roll cleans it up. Crowd wanted a foul.
I thought that was a good no call. I don't think you can call everything. Davis doesn't have to touch you very hard for you to go down.
Appleby for 3 at the other end. And we mentioned earlier, this guy is a streak shooter. Now, he's no stranger to LSU. Appleby played in the SEC, played a year at Florida.
And his idol?
Pete Maravich.
No question.
Who played a little basketball at LSU, as I recall.
Well, he's got all the tapes of Pete Maravich. You got to remember when Maravich played, Barry, no shot clock, no three-point shot, and he averaged 44 a game for 3 years. Of course, couldn't play as a freshman. You got to think about that. 44 a game.
It really is. He was an unbelievable player.
Way ahead of his time.
Yep.
Way ahead of his time.
No three-point shot, no shot clock. Absolutely unbelievable player from LSU. The arena named after his dad. We'll talk a little bit more about that. Meanwhile, Huskies by 18. Huskies playing before the home folk lead by 18. We were talking earlier about Pete Maravich and what he did not only for college basketball but for LSU. I mean, talk about a guy who was ahead of his time.
Oh, man, look at the footage on the pistol. I mean, look at the way he handled the ball, the way he could distribute and make miraculous shots. I mean, the guy averaged 44 plus a game for 3 years. And you think some teams would maybe stall and keep the ball away. They couldn't do it, and he was just a marvel. And that's Ryan Appleby's here, and he said he's got all the tapes.
Yeah.
And if you've ever seen the ball handling tapes of Pete, they're incredible.
They are incredible. He's reading a book right now. He said there's a new book out on Pete Maravich, and Ryan told us that's the book he's reading now. And, I mean, there's even a vague resemblance just in the way Ryan Appleby, and I mean this in the most affectionate way, he's the definitive gym rat.
Yeah, he's a guy, you're right, and he has made himself into a much better player by working hard in the gym. Good effort here to get it back. Just couldn't look at Davis.
I mean, he is really having to earn everything he gets. And there's Roll with the putback and the foul.
That's a nice sequence for the Tigers. I mean, they're down a lot and came back and had multiple efforts for the first time in the game to get it finally in, and Roll a good job to finalize.
Well, we want to remind you, coming up on our Acura halftime show, it'll be, we're going to talk about in-state recruiting, and that is something that both these schools have done as good or better than anybody in the country. We'll tell you about that at halftime. We'll talk about the Pac-10 hoops schedule you'll be seeing here on FSN. And we'll have all the highlights and all the numbers from the first half.
You might have a travel or a charge. That's a good call. No, that is an excellent call.
Well,
Oliver's, you got to look before you dribble. Kind of a key point.
There's another look at it.
Yeah, and Oliver's going to get it, but just a terrific job by Voog just to step in there and a little bit out of control.
Here's Davis trying to back down on Haas. Haas holds his ground. Mitchell with Pondexter on him. Now Voog. Martin's not shy. Davis comes out. Haas working on him. And Tasman Mitchell knocks it down.
Tasman Mitchell might have been the Southeast Conference Freshman of the Year last year had it not been for Tyrus Thomas. When you think about it, I mean, he really came on big and was an integral part of their Final Four run.
He's got 11 points in the game and keeping his team hanging around here. Appleby with a miss, and Huskies will maintain possession. Incidentally, Quincy Pondexter came into this game leading scorer for the Washington Huskies, and so far in the game he has no points, no rebounds, and 2 fouls. And his team leads it by 14.
Yeah, well, the fouls have taken him out. Quincy's a very good player, and he'll get back in the game. And of course, he's been picked up by a couple of teammates.
Yeah, he has been.
Yeah, I'd say Haas and Brockman have done a pretty good job.
I was going to say a chance there for LSU to kind of get the crowd out of it and get back-to-back hoops, but it wasn't to be. Here's Haas again. Now Haas drawing a crowd. And coming down the lane is Gasser, and Gasser caught the basket. Gasser muscling it up.
Well, it's just a great read that time by Spencer Haas. And Haas, they weren't doubling him up before, but here he gets it here. Here's 1-2, and then they're going to shoot a guy right down the middle. Here's your double team, and they do a great job of finding the open player, and then a nice job by Gasser to finish it up. But Haas is unselfish. You notice on the double team, what was he doing? He was looking. Okay, somebody cut down the lane, and I'll find you.
And Gasser converts a 3-point play, but it's back to a 16-point game. I beg your pardon, 17-point game. Washington perfect at the free throw line tonight. They've made all 7 attempts. So 1:35 left in the first half. Boog will bring it across the timeline with Oliver in his pocket. Knocked out of Mason's hands, but the Tigers will maintain possession.
Yeah, but I don't think the Tigers are totally out of this. They're down by a lot.
I agree.
There's still a long way to go. But I would say in this last 1:30, they've got to shut out Washington, and they need 2 or 3 productive trips down the floor. They've got to finish this half strong.
This is Tasman Mitchell. Now Mason with Appleby on him.
Got to make some outside shots if they're available. Got to hit those outside ones.
Cut off at the baseline. Now Roll. Roll has taken with 7 seconds left. Comes up short. Oliver with a rebound in front of Vogue.
Well, you get selective now if you're the Huskies. You don't need to be out of control. That's the one thing you don't want to do is turn it over.
He was picked clean, and we're going to get an intentional foul.
Maybe Oliver.
Yeah, I think it is Oliver. Oliver playing a little out of control right now. And that offensive foul at this end a couple of moments ago. And now this is one of those turning points in a game. And Flo Romar, of course, will point that out to him.
Well, guess what he's saying to Oliver? He's saying, look, we're up 17. And we had the intentional, I think, a little further back. But what we need to do in that situation is back the ball out. We have a guy by the name of Spencer Hawes on the floor who hasn't missed many shots. Let's get selective and get the ball down low. It's a window here for the Tigers.
No question about it. It's 2 shots plus possession.
Mitchell's had a nice half. Mitchell's had a big year.
Mitchell's got 12 points, and now we're going to have a discussion amongst the officials here. I believe it's that they had the wrong shooter. So if that is the case, they will take that point off the board.
I think what they're doing here. Let's see if in fact it looks like no.
It should be Mason.
It should be Mason. Good job by Mitchell though to go to the line.
That's a very savvy move.
It is a savvy move, and a heads-up move by the coaching staff of the Huskies to point out that, by the way, you've got the wrong shooter at the line.
So we'll put Damian Mason at the line. Mitchell is an 85% shooter, and Mason a 67% shooter. And he makes it anyway. So it remains 47-31 with one more coming, and they will maintain possession.
Yeah, good officiating too. It's one of those correctable errors that you can make before the ball's put back in play. I mean, had you had the wrong shooter in there and he makes both free throws and the ball's put in place, it's too late. In the end, Barry, didn't mean a lot, did it?
No, it really did.
He went to the line and made 2.
But that foul could be game altering.
Oh, I don't. This is a big trip. We talked about the last minute and a half, and so far, a couple of points for the Tigers. They need another trip here to knock one in.
Now Mason will back it out. Mason trying to drive on Gasser all the way to the 10. So Mason with the 2 free throws and then a drive basket. And it is a 13-point game, which is as close as LSU has been in a long time.
Yeah, and they need a big stop here. This is really a key. They need this one to still, I mean, that was a tough shot. And under duress in the corner, fading away, and Burmeister comes up there.
Brandon Burmeister.
The one thing about the Huskies, they've had great bench play this year. Yeah. Burmeister comes in and he can make shots. And Gasser's played well. Nelson comes off the bench, does a good job. Appleby sometimes doesn't start, and he's productive.
Here's Mitchell, little fall away, got another one. Mitchell with 13 in the ball game now. And with that, the first half will come to an end. A very effective first half of the Huskies. A little mini run by LSU at the end of the half has made this less than an insurmountable lead for Washington. It's a 50-36 ball game. I think what is significant is that the game is being played at the kind of tempo that the Huskies would prefer and not the tempo that LSU would prefer. They would like, given their ideal, to play it in the 60s if they can. As it is, Washington 50, LSU 36. Halftime activities brought to you by Acura coming up on the other side of this. We welcome you back to Seattle. Barry Tompkins, Dan Belwamini alongside. The hometown Huskies leading LSU 50-36. Really brilliantly played first half. Both teams actually shot the ball pretty well, and yet Washington leads it by 14.
Well,
figure.
yeah, they lead it by 14 because really you look at that last points in the paint and a good job of second chance points. They get 12 of them. The Huskies have had more shot attempts and more field goals, so they really did a beautiful job. And surprising thing, they've out-rebounded LSU 20-14. It was all Huskies in the first half. You look at Tasman Mitchell-Berry with the 13, and you know who's missing there. You don't see any Glenn Davis for LSU, and of course Brockman and Hawes. And how about Nelson coming off the bench? Didn't miss a shot. Had 6 points, played 6 minutes, and I thought bench points were really significant for Washington in the first half.
And two guys that didn't show up there, Quincy Pondexter, leading scorer for Washington, and Glenn Davis, leading scorer for LSU. Pondexter has been bageled in the first half, and Davis has 4 points on 1 of 6 from the floor. Davis again draws a crowd, but a fadeaway off the baseline goes halfway down and comes out. And Hawes has his 8th rebound.
Yeah, I think the other guy for the Tigers is Garrett Temple. I think Temple is a guy who didn't score in the first half, 0 field goals. So between Temple and Davis, they have a combined 1 field goal in the first half. Yeah. So obviously that has to improve if the Tigers have any chance of winning this game.
Davis now 1 of 7 for the field,
nice
stepping
steal.
in front nicely. Minor all the way to the basket.
That's a nice start. I thought LSU closed the half with a little bit of a flurry. Now, the first 3-4 minutes for the Tigers are critical. They need to make an impact to get back in the game.
Well, they haven't been in single digits since the 13-minute mark of the first half. There's Hawes in the corner. Hawes just faces up Davis and knocks it down.
Wow. Boy, how do you like it? Can you believe Spencer Hawes? Well, so much for the fact that he's just going to kind of handle it inside. He just stepped away and knocked down a 25-footer.
On the corner, Temple. And there's his first goal.
Yeah, big score. Got to get his confidence up. Obviously in foul trouble in the first half and took him out of his rhythm, but he needs to get going in the second half. He might have an over-the-top on Hawes if they continue to front.
How about Brockman steps up this time, but he throws up a brick. Hawes high for the rebound, and the jump hook return won't go. Off of Brockman's hands into the hands of Minor. Minor one-on-one with Detman all the way to the basket again, but he missed it. And it's going to be LSU ball. And now that's overruled, and it's going to be Washington basketball. John Brady on
well, he was on the floor. I mean, he was all the way on the floor. Not a good time to get a technical.
And his players, and Butch Pierre, his #1 assistant.
I think John, too, obviously he thought that there may have been a foul going in on Minor, no foul. And, I mean, he was all the way on the floor.
And now they call the T, of course, on Brady. And that's another momentum changer. Huge momentum changer. Except Detman doesn't convert.
And of course, Detman, you know, a high percentage free throw shooter. I mean, he's a guy that's going to shoot 85 plus.
1 out of 2. Here's another look. See what you think. Whose ball is it? Well, I'm going to miss the shot.
First of all, I thought that John felt that there was a foul on the drive and thought that Minor should get a couple of free throws. Then continued to walk all the way on the floor and got in the official's ear and picks up a quick technical.
There's Hawes outside again. Felt good with the first one. Why not that one?
Boy, he is special. Barry, he is very, very special. Man, how do you like Spencer Hawes? I mean, the Husky fans got to be going, is this guy for real or what?
Well, I think he is.
Yeah, the answer is yeah, he's for real.
He's got 18 in the ball game now. And as we said, he's no secret up here in the Northwest, but I think after this game, he's no secret in the United States.
Great effort by Tasman Mitchell to counter, and Hawes is just going to say, you know what? Doesn't matter. Just give me the ball. They got a little talking going on.
And Hawes is not a talker. He must have been being talked to, is all I can think. Now here's Davis working on Brockman, and he slipped in the paint, went down, gets up, he's all right. And a good no call, I think, by the officials.
Now the shot clock, so Davis probably will keep this all the way.
Well, I try to wrap around pass, and Pondexter picks it up. Pondexter with Temple on his elbow, all the way to the basket, and he draws a foul. Pretty nifty.
Quincy Pondexter, he got a couple of fouls early in the half, but don't forget, he's the guy that's been leading them in scoring. And you talk about a coming-out party for Spencer Hawes. Now they're trying to find him. They run him on the baseline. Now, he was well defended. I mean, he had a hand in the face, and then Brockman said, well, I got the assist last time. I might as well find him again. And he spots up and knocks another one down.
Pondexter still can't get himself on the board. And Martin's going to come into the ballgame. Martin did give John Brady some offense when he came on late in the first half. He had 7 points. Roll will leave. And Pondexter 1 out of 2. First point of the game for Quincy Pondexter, the leading scorer on this team coming into the game. Averaging 16 points a game. Pondexter also a freshman, oh, by the way.
Good hands by Brockman.
Sure,
beautiful job to step in the passing lane.
Pondexter again. Pondexter gets in, draws a crowd, puts it in. Somehow.
Now he's on the board.
Yeah, he is.
Of course, Quincy Pondexter's dad, Roscoe Pondexter, a tremendous player in his own right, and his uncle, Clifton Pondexter, played on that great Long Beach State team, coached by Lute Olson in the 70s. And so, again, some heritage is there, too, with Pondexter, who's a terrific player in his own right.
Minor stops the bleeding for LSU. Yeah, there's a lot of dads and uncles here. Pros a pretty good all-star team. Pondexter again. So it's 6 in a row by Hawes and then 6 in a row by Pondexter. Let's good pass from Martin. Martin will try a 3 and bury it.
Well, Martin's had an impact. I mean, for a guy that hasn't played in a year, I mean, he's got 10 points. Has come in to be very, very effective. He's going to make that one. They can't make them all. He's gone. And Davis is going. He missed one.
Yeah, that's right. But the Huskies will have another chance when we come back. At 63-49, Washington over LSU. We're coming back. And we welcome you back to the Bank of America Arena here in Seattle. Barry Tompkins, Dan Belwamini alongside. It's been all Washington in this game. They lead it now by 14, 15-27 remaining. Spencer Hawes will get a blow, and he has just been a giant. 20 points, 9 rebounds. It'll be the Huskies' ball.
Yeah, Barry, I got to say, it's been a nice run by the Huskies, but LSU has just hung right in there. They're down 14 at half. Even with the barrage, they're still within striking range.
Very much so.
And they haven't really had, Temple in the game, and Davis has not had a big game. They need a goal or two. Nice move. See, I think they're picking up the tempo. They're going to run it a little bit more. They're going to get more proactive. They're still in this game.
Oh, I don't think there's any question about it. And they're the kind of team, they started out very poorly against Oregon State, came back and won the game as well. And although I believe Washington's a little bit higher level team than Oregon State, but they're very capable. And they got to run into someplace.
And I thought that was a very good look by Minor that time. And, Mitchell is just a tremendous all-around player. I mean, he's a guy that can shoot it outside. He runs the floor. He defends. He's just super active. And he's had a solid game and really has kept the Tigers in this one. I mean, he's been brilliant all over the floor.
Knocks them both down and gets his team within 12. Both teams shooting it very well, incidentally, from three-point range. Combined 11 of 18.
Might be a travel.
Yeah.
See, I think that's a very good call. And Brockman sometimes has a tendency to make that little hop, skip, and a jump without putting the ball on the ground. And another significant point is Davis has not picked up that third. I think he can get a little more aggressive now. He has the 2 fouls, but he's not going to worry too much about picking up. But he can play a little tighter defensively.
This is a very big possession here. And it's overplayed by Pondexter in the turnover. Appleby gets it out of there. Gets it ahead of Oliver. All the way to the basket. Missed the shot. There for the rebound. Brockman too hard off the glass. And a little errant elbow thrown by Davis. And Davis is not a hothead. I'm not sure what precipitated that, but Brockman will go to the free throw line.
We talked very earlier about second efforts around the basket, and that was pivotal for the Huskies. And there, of course, Brockman has been all over the glass and does a nice job to follow that one up, doesn't get it down, but gets to the foul line.
And knocks it down, and now Spencer Hawes will come back, and Pondexter's been on fire. Will sit. Nelson is in the ball game for the Huskies. Nelson gave his team a lift with 2 threes in his 6 minutes of play in the first half.
I think Lorenzo Romar kind of looked down the bench and said, "What are you doing here?
Yeah,
Go on,
get in there.
Get back in the game."
1 out of 2 for Brockman, and the lead is 13. There's Martin. Martin brings Nelson out, gets a shot over and missed the shot. And Oliver is there for the rebound. Here's Nelson. Martin comes right out on him. Not going to give him any space. Brockman, just a little turnaround, too hard. And all those shots that were going down earlier are not going down right now. Davis goes down hard with Oliver. Here come the Tigers, 3-on-1, all the way to the 10. Oh, big time.
Are you kidding me? Are you serious? And Davis may have tweaked an ankle at the other end, but how about Temple? He just, you know, I thought Appleby was waiting for a charge, and Temple just jumped right over him.
And Davis does appear to be okay.
Are you serious on this one here? I think here's what Lorenzo Romar, it looked like the guy rolled over. He wanted to travel and didn't get it. And then how about Garrett? I can take it to the goal, Temple. Well, that's getting on the board in a hurry.
Well, Collis Temple, he did. He jumped right over Appleton. Now Hawes draws a crowd. Gets it to Oliver. That floor is very slippery, incidentally. Both teams slipping a lot. Brockman, nice delivery from Oliver.
Now Brockman's just a master with his back to the basket. Always looking for the ball and can deliver when he does receive it.
Martin going to back this out now. Skip pass for Temple. Now Davis trying to drive on Hawes. Davis with the left hand too hard. He just can't find it tonight. And we're going to get a foul going the other way.
Well, Davis has had to work for every shot.
Third foul on Davis. Hawes taking the flop.
Look at this now here, Barry. He's going to come back to his left. He's trying to get a little help. Yeah, he did try to flop. I thought there, pretty good no call.
Now we mentioned what Glenn Davis is going through tonight. Just 4 points on 1 of 8. You see his average of 20 points a game. So Huskies doing a great job on him. Here's Hawes with Davis. Hawes right around him.
I thought he traveled, but you know what?
If it doesn't get called, it's not a travel.
It sure looked like it, but a pretty good move. Maybe he didn't.
Career high now for Hawes, 22. And he's doing it against a pretty darn good defender. Here's Davis, straighten up. Still can't find it.
Oh, you want him to shoot that one. I think if you're Washington, you give Davis that until he can knock a few down.
Here's Denton. Let him go, and he makes you pay.
T.O. here. Got to be a T.O. for the Tigers. Well, the Huskies have been dynamite tonight.
6-0 run has stretched the lead back to 17. And the dog patch is really liking what they're seeing, and why not? It's Washington 7, LSU 53, 12:24 remaining to be played in the ball game. Watch Hawes. Did he travel? Yeah, I think he did, but he'll take it. When the Huskies play here at the Bank of America Arena, it is the toughest ticket in town. And they were on hand early, and they waited in long lines to get the remaining tickets to see this guy, Big Baby, and their team has done a pretty darn good job on Big Baby. And I don't know that Davis has had a night like this in a long time. He's been under siege.
Yeah, he really has been under siege. He's at 1 of 9 from the field, and he's been double, triple, quadruple teamed at times, and a little bit frustrated. And you see the points and what he's averaged, and quick timeout and by LSU, and the Huskies has just put a run on him. I mean, they're doing a great job at both ends of the floor. And the crowd obviously really into this one. So let's see coming out of this timeout if LSU can get something productive at the offensive end.
They got Vood back in the ball game. He's a guy that does take care of the ball pretty well. He's from right here in the Northwest, from Oregon. Little skip pass for Temple. Appleby jumps out on him. Now they drop it down for Mitchell. Mitchell in traffic off the side of the backboard. Brockman with another rebound. Now Detman, he'll push it. Nelson on the wing, look out.
Oh, is he automatic? I mean, you think Nelson's got the green light, and he is unbelievable from the perimeter.
Biggest lead of the night for the Washington Huskies. It's a 20-point ball game.
And how about the read by Denton? You know, he knows he's got the shooter coming down on his right, in rhythm.
Martin for three, long three. Rattled in, rattled out. Hawes another rebound. That's his 10th. He's got a double-double.
Nelson's open again. There, he's open again.
Why not?
I'm telling you, he missed out. Yeah, he wanted it one more time.
He's got that kind of shot, though, that you really think every time it leaves his hand, it's going down. And Appleby's like that, too. There are a lot of shooters on this team.
They do have a lot of shooters.
Temple trying to get around Appleby. Appleby fights through a screen. Temple thought about it. Lets it go. 13 on the shot clock. Now Mitchell driving baseline. Hawes cut him off. Huskies playing great defense, too. Detman trying to break down and gets a grab. Boog just literally reached out and grabbed him. That'd have been 15 yards. Well, the Huskies just doing everything right on both ends of the floor. The freshman Nelson here on a nice dish from Detman. Knocked down his third three, and the Dogs lead it by 20. Huskies continuing to put a real hurt on the LSU Tigers. They lead it by 20. Still just under 11 minutes remaining to be played. Take a look at the Dillard's Big Ben on campus, and in this case, yeah, bigger really is better.
Well, look at that. I mean, it's unbelievable, but that career high. Look at Spencer Hawes with 22 and 10, 10 and 14, and of course John Brockman with the 17 and 11. That's now the whole story on Brockman. I think he's done a brilliant defensive job on Davis. He took the initiative early. He kept the ball away from him and really got the tempo of the game going toward the Huskies, and they've just been able to finish and do a nice job.
14 offensive rebounds for the Huskies in this game. Here's Hawes, little turnaround, comes up short. The rebound down to the hands of Mason. One of the few misses of a makeable shot.
He looked good missing.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
You know, he looked like that was a shot he'd probably make 8 out of 10 times.
I think so. Mason is cut off, and a foul is called on a reach-in. They got Oliver on the foul. That's his third. Boog the inbound. Does so for Temple. Temple open three. Missed it. Hawes another rebound.
Now it's an area of concern for John Brady.
And especially, Denton turned it over. Sorry, Dan.
Well, especially going to the Southeast Conference. You've got to make that perimeter shot. They have to develop an outside game so that 2 and 3 and 4 people don't surround Davis every time he touches the ball.
Lazar gives it up for Temple, and that's Mason for three. Had a good look, couldn't get it down. Oliver with the rebound. A look down low again. Hawes is there, guarded by Lazar. Hawes just goes under him this time. And travel. Oh, payback.
Now, see, I didn't think that one was traveling, but I thought the other one was. If you're Lorenzo Omar, you're clapping, you're saying that's okay. It's okay, big guy, don't worry about it. Well, you know what, that was traveling. Yeah. Very good call by the official. Did move both feet.
Lazar gives it up now for Mason. Mason barking out directions. Temple in and out. They just can't find one. And Vu picks up the opportunity. He can't get it to go. Hawes controls for Nelson.
And it's not like the Tigers haven't had some chances. I mean, they've had some opportunity, three-point shots that haven't gone down. Not much around the goal, though. They haven't had many inside shots. How about that one?
That was just a great play by Detman. Detman, actually, for a guy his size, is very effective around the basket.
Yeah, Detman had that big advantage, playing with all the veterans that, you know, you play with all the guys they had last year with Brandon Roy and Bobby Jones and Jensen and Jamal Williams. And he was the guy that really controlled the tempo in many games. He's had NCAA tournament experience, and he's a guy that no problem playing in a big game.
Watch this move here.
Well, he does an excellent job. The little pump fake. You never want to really leave your feet when you're playing defense. And as you said, Detman effective right around the 10. He does a good job to get people in the air, and he can shoot it on the outside. He leads us. He's kind of a quiet guy and just makes all the right plays. And I think pivotal to their success this year, they need him on the floor directing this team.
And last year as a freshman, I mean, he filled a real need. He was a good recruit, but not one of those guys that you read about in all the recruiting magazines. Came out of Carbondale, Illinois. Hawes will leave. And Mason gets the free throw.
Not much zone, if any at all, by either club in this game. I mean, man-to-man, trying to pressure, trying to take away leads, trying to do a good job. And there's a little pass over the top, and a great effort. That time, Davis, cardinal rule, you got to have vision on the ball and vision on your man. That time he was face guarding, they went right over the top. He didn't see the pass.
So they, again, continue to school. I hate to say that, but they are schooling Glenn Davis tonight.
Well, they're getting great looks, and I think, quite frankly, you said it earlier, I think he is frustrated, and I don't think Glenn has really ever gotten in this game, and now it's getting out of control. Now you're down 23. You know you really got a tough shot winning this game. He just has to hang in there. And here again, when he rolls down, and look at Brockman screen him out. Brockman just does a beautiful job of putting a body on him. And Brockman doesn't care if he gets a rebound as long as Davis stays away, and he has done that all night long.
Oliver has left with 4 fouls. Nelson also leaves. Very effective game for the freshman Nelson.
I think the shock in this game is the offensive production by Brockman. I mean, you knew he's a good defensive player and a rebounder. He came out and just took the game over in the first 5 minutes.
Against an All-American.
Yeah,
I mean, this is against the guy who was one of the best players in the country. Lazar standing J. And there's Davis.
First time in a long time that Brockman was not able to get any body on him, and that's what happens. You can't lapse 1 second when you're playing Glenn Davis.
There's Pondexter posting up. Good job that time by Mason. Got the block and the ball. Mason will cross over that time. Cut off nicely. Back for Voog. Voog open for 3. Couldn't get it. And Mason follows it in. Excellent play.
Great job by Mason, both ends of the floor.
And under the basket, Big Baby is, it has been a tough night for him in every respect. He was slow to get up a few moments ago and might have taken a little shot to the head. He comes off, looks to be a little woozy. Didn't appear to be a leg injury of any sort. I think he probably just took a pretty good shot. We'll jump away, 77-58, Huskies. We are back. Take a look at the Dodge game summary, and Washington has led virtually from the get-go. They lead by 19 now. Haas, 22 points, 11 boards. Brockman, 19 points, 11 boards. 7 of them, incidentally, on the offensive end. And Davis has been held in check. 6 points, 8 boards, and he picked up fouls early. And quite honestly, just has not been a factor in this game.
Yeah, good to see him, though, back on the floor. I thought he took a little bit of a shot there right before that timeout and was a bit woozy coming off the floor, but right back in the game. So good to see Glenn Davis back on the floor.
There's Pondexter behind a Gasser screen. Pondexter going to take it all the way. Finger roll, no. Follow up, yeah.
Well, he is a quick jumper inside. I mean, he comes on. As soon as you allow him to kind of curl off that screen and go to the goal, there's problems, because now once he misses, he's very effective. He's got the long arms, good tip in.
Lazar, and they just drop down off Lazar and say, go ahead, you're going to beat us, take that shot. Temple guarded by Pondexter. Pondexter's been effective in the second half, bageled in the first half. Temple pull up over him.
Good to see Collis. I mean, good to see. We always say Collis Temple, but of course, a good job by Garrett Temple to make that perimeter shot. Does a nice job. Thinking of his dad.
That's right. And his brother. Gasser can't get that one to go, and he will go to the line.
Well, we thought one of the real keys, and as soon as you see him turn the corner, was second chance points. And again, he misses the shot, but has the long arms and the good feel for the game. And hard to screen him out when everybody is going to the goal and the ball is up on the 10, and his man is just jumping in the air. And Pondexter, very proactive, does a nice job to follow that basketball to the goal.
Fourth foul, incidentally, on Davis. So the woes for Glenn Davis continue. Tough night. Gasser misses that one. Lazar with the rebound. Here's Mason all the way to the basket again. Mason showing some quicks.
Yeah, good little transition that time by the Tigers. And I think that's exactly what they have to do. Got to play a little bit quicker now, take some chances, get active defensively. You go for some steals, try to get it off the glass. And the problem is that Pondexter is now going to work.
Yeah.
You know, it's a pretty good young front line the Huskies have.
I'll say it is.
I mean, we've come to that conclusion. They've got 2 freshmen and a sophomores in the front line. And there is going to be an off-player control foul. And that's the other thing that Washington does a beautiful job. They'll step in your way. Guys come for halftime. Appleby, good position. Watch Appleby come all the way over, give the help from the weak side, establish, and pick up the charge.
Pondexter, incidentally, we mentioned earlier, was leading scorer coming into this game for the Huskies. 16 a game. He did not score in the first half. Now he's got 10. Hawes is back on for the Washington Huskies. Here's Pondexter again. Pondexter dropped this down for Hawes. Turnaround lane. Won't go, and a foul on Brockman from behind will put Davis to the free throw line. Second foul on Brockman.
Still only the 5th team foul on the Huskies. So that's the other problem with LSU tonight. You know, not an opportunity to get to the foul line very much. I mean, especially when you're on the road and you've got a dominant player inside, you want to get into that one-on-one, get in the bonus situation in a hurry, and they haven't been able to do it.
Here's Davis, and again he draws a crowd. Pondexter, good job to cut him off. They leave it for Martin. Martin steps in, bumps off Appleby, misses off the window, and it is knocked out of bounds to Washington. I think Lorenzo Romar wants the Huskies to use a little bit of the clock here with 5 minutes remaining.
Yeah, now they can run their motion, get in the half court, get a few touches.
Denman again, all the way to the basket. He just missed the shot too hard with the left hand. Martin to Lazar, got away with the travel, but they're owed one. Mason gets on the floor with Pondexter. Pondexter gets it to Hawes. Hawes to Denman. One-on-one with Davis.
1-on-2. So what?
Opportunity. Pondexter. Good night.
Well, see, he knew. Denman knew it was 1-on-2. But he told Coach, I knew that Pondexter was trailing the play. And he's going to get the ball and dunk it. Not a good shot, 1-on-2, but Pondexter definitely bailed him out.
Pondexter can score in a hurry.
Yes, he can. Like you said, 0 in the first half, now 12 in the second. And, you know, he's an explosive guy. And a good job by Quincy to go up and get that one.
Washington just continues to hammer LSU in the paint. It was close in the first half, actually. In fact, if memory serves, there was 18 apiece in the first half. And now look at this. In the second half, 18-8. There's Lazar, now Temple. Denman going to come out and guard him. A little turnaround this time by Mitchell, and it won't go. And there's Davis.
Yeah, Davis that time would not be denied. I thought very good motion that time by the Tigers. Good half-court set. They got a quality shot, and then good job by Davis to clean it up.
And they're going to get a grab on Lazar from behind. Hawes gave a pretty good shot with an elbow, too, and that was a little retaliation by Lazar. He got whistled for the foul. Dogs lead it by 20. Point Washington lead, 84-64, 3 minutes, 59 seconds remaining to be played in the ball game, and it has been Washington right from the outset. And it has been a very tough night for Glenn Davis. Scored with 9 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the first half, and then did not score again until there were 7 minutes and 56 seconds to go in the second half.
Yeah,
a
unbelievable.
long dry spell.
Really a long dry spell, and he's been, no question about it, Barry. He's been well defended tonight. I mean, Brockman and Hawes and really all of the Huskies have dropped down on him, and they have forced LSU to make some outside shots. And it happened for a spurt in the first half, but not much in the second half.
1 out of 2 for Hawes. Second one falls off.
I think Martin's been a bright spot. I mean, I think if you're looking for some good things for LSU, Martin, if for a guy that hasn't played in a long time, has come off and made a few shots.
Yeah, here he is again. Good, nice look, good stroke.
He is definitely going to help this team.
Nope.
I don't think there's any question.
No question. He's got 13 points in the ball game. This is his first game that he has been eligible to play, and he transferred from Texas Tech. Long time between games for him, and he hasn't shown any rust at all.
Yeah, it's got to be a thrill for him to come out and play this well. Really, and how about practice? Not much practice either. You know, just coming in and taking final exams and coming right out and getting 13 in his first game.
Pondexter knocked out a 3.
So he had kind of a scoreless first half, you were saying, and he's got 15, count, in the second half. I would have said, you know, there's probably no chance he's going to reach his average. You know, what's the average? 16 a game, and he had 0 in the first half.
Well, Washington wants to run the ball up and down the floor. They've been averaging just over 88 points a game, and here with 2 minutes and 53 seconds remaining, they are right at that 88-point mark.
Well, you know the game's getting even more physical. Got to get a tight whistle here at the end of the game. But look at Davis and Brockman just wrestling for position.
And there's a long 3 put in. Tasman Mitchell, excellent shooter.
He can do it all over the floor.
He's got 20.
I mean, he's not only good on the perimeter, he can run the floor, score inside, and not much that Tasman Mitchell can't do.
There's Brockman, little spin move on Davis. Nice job by Davis. Now Detman for 3. That won't go. Brockman tried to keep the rebound alive, couldn't do it. Pondexter a little mugging. Now Hawes gets on the floor and finally gets it back for Appleby. Bodies everywhere. Here's Pondexter again. He'll back it out and wait for him.
Yeah, and I think that's a great decision. Let's back it out. Even though you had a wide open shot, remember score and time.
And now Brockman. Still plenty of time on the shot clock, 15 seconds.
Now you run a little high screen and roll. Maybe you bring Hawes all the way up and try to run a little screen and roll.
And Denman got into the lane and missed the shot. And Brockman's going to give his team a second chance. That one missed by a lot. Here's Martin again. Not this time. Brockman another rebound. So Brockman misses at one end, gets back down the floor and gets a rebound. 19 points, 14 rebounds for Brockman. Minute 25 left.
It's been an impressive performance by the Huskies tonight.
Top to bottom.
Yeah, may have grown up. You're starting 3 freshmen, 2 sophomores, and just an unbelievable effort defensively. And Brockman and Hawes, Pondexter in the second half. Denman very solid. And how about their bench play? I thought Nelson came off, gave him a big lift. And there'll be better days for LSU.
Oh, yeah. It's a good team.
It's a work in progress.
49 seconds remaining to be played. The crowd on its feet, but then the crowd's been on its feet for the entire game. And now Lorenzo Romar will bring Nelson back into the game. Artem Wallace back into the ball game. Had a cameo appearance in the first half. Brandon Burmeister, who made a very key shot, incidentally, in the first half.
Yeah, right at the end of the first half, LSU was making a little run, and Burmeister hit that big 3 from the corner.
Nelson to inbound. There's Artem Wallace, finger rolls it. The follow misses that time. Temple all the way. Nice little reverse, got right by Nelson.
And Garrett really never did get into his game. I thought the early fouls hurt him, and you could see how explosive and active and what a pivotal part of this team. And you know, when he goes no field goals in the first half, I mean, that's tough to overcome. And when Davis only has one field goal, you know, that's a difficult night. But give the Huskies credit. I mean, they came out strong and played great at both ends of the floor.
They don't have to take a shot here. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, and this one's in the books. And it was a complete victory for the Washington Huskies. I don't think there's any question about that. They got out early. They never let LSU in the ball game. For all intent, the closest LSU could get. I believe they got to 11 1 point early in the second half, and that was about it.
Yeah, and I thought the big factor was the defensive effort on Davis. No question, turned the game around, and they negated anything Temple wanted. And the Huskies, how about Hawes and how about Brockman? They were unbelievable, and Pondexter in the second half. Total team effort by the Huskies.
Absolutely, and Hawes, 23 points and 12 boards. Brockman, 19 points and 14 boards. Pondexter, 15 points and 5 boards. All his points in the second half. Final score once more, Huskies win it 88-72. We want to remind you that our next broadcast next Thursday night, Washington State at UCLA in the opening of the Pac-10 season. Final scores coming up next. Talk about Allen Iverson, talk about a miracle at the Garden. A wrap for us. For Dan Belwamany, I'm Barry Tompkins. So long, everybody.